Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Today, another sort of slow day, but it's sort of grinding its way here through this trend channel, this sort of bear flag that we talked about in the previous video. The wave count is unchanged. So we are adhering very nicely to the boundaries of the trend channel at the moment. And my view is still that we're coming down here in an ABC correction. It could be a WXY. It doesn't really make a difference here because there are many possibilities at the moment, as I said, and therefore it's not so important to be too concerned and confused about what is exactly the count here on a micro level, because if it's a correction, which it is, most likely, then this can be a lot of different stuff. Yeah, just to give you some examples, could I had a few comments about, this is the count, and there are many possibilities. It is what it is, there's no way around it. And there is not the one count that you can unpack here and say, this is definitely it. That is why it's important to be flexible these days here, especially in this range, which is why I highlighted my strategy in the previous video and also on Telegram Discord. I'm scaling in from now on into the support area 20K. So scaling in, scaling in, scaling in, and then I'm gonna scale out in resistance because I do expect a bounce from somewhere in this region. So I'm gonna, just to show you again, where's my favorite triangle? There you go. From somewhere here, yeah, in this region, scaling in this region, and then I expect a bounce from somewhere here. We could even, Bitcoin sometimes does this stuff. It just turns up to the upside from here, which I don't expect at this stage. I think we should get at least one more low, ideally into the 21.3K area. That would be absolutely ideal, and from then we can recover, and I intend then to take the profits along the way. Yeah, but different counts are possible. So as I said before, right, this could be the completion of this move. Yeah, so the 16th of Feb high could be the completion of the move that started back in November. You see a 5-wave move to the upside here. That's absolutely possible. The only sort of concern I have is that this move up, you can't, you can get away with counting it as a 5-wave move. However, it's not ideal. Yeah, so that's one point, and it's a little bit too short because Bitcoin on these time frames normally likes to extend its 5th wave. So it didn't do that. From that point of view, I think it could also be something different. The other possibility is still that we get a 5th wave extension, so that this wave 5, this wave 5 of 1 will actually sit somewhere up here. That could go all the way up to around 35K in a sort of, I would say, in a maximum scenario. Yeah, in the most bullish scenario, we would then do a 1-2 here and would rally at some point in a 3rd wave, 4 and 5, but it would need to turn around now for this scenario. And then we've got one more case to make, or scenario to make, where we say, okay, the wave 5 is up there somewhere, but wave 4 never ended, and that we then moved here in a WXY scenario, so that we say the move down was wave W, we moved up in an X wave, we're now coming down in a Y wave, which is why I've labeled this as an ABC in a wave Y. Yeah? So absolutely possible to label that in this scenario as an ABC. You could also label that as a WXY in here. Doesn't make a terribly great difference. But if I label this as a WXY in here, then I could say we've got nearly 5 waves down complete. So we've got nearly the A wave of the Y wave complete. But again, there are so many different possibilities. Don't want to, it's we can discuss all kinds of counts. It's to a degree pointless because it doesn't give you an edge. Okay, so the edge, we will get the edge if we zoom in, if we understand where the key support areas are, where the support clusters are, where it's likely that it's going to turn around due to the different scenarios that we've got. And that's where we get our edge, okay? And this is the area I highlighted in previous videos between ideally 21,530 and basically 20K. This is a pretty large support area. That's why I wouldn't be so concerned about trying to pick the absolute lowest point, the absolute lowest price. I started to scale in already, yeah, slowly. And I will scale in further into support, and ideally we are going to hold the 20K area. At least that's my strategy. Yeah. We can discuss all kinds of sort of subwave counts in a correction. Is obviously oftentimes a little bit pointless. It's important to be flexible. I did say that today in the Solana video. You know, we need to be flexible at the moment, or the market will flex us. That is what it is, because you get these scenarios or these times in the market where we've got three different scenarios. Probabilities are fairly similar, but the good thing here is, and that's ideal, that with the analysis here we can identify the area where those three scenarios come together, have common ground, and give us a common support area. And that's where I intend to scale in. And this is now, obviously, I'm starting to scale in a little bit above the support area. And the reason for that is that a lot of the altcoins that I cover have fulfilled their primary expectations. They've all reached downside targets. Yeah, they can still go lower, but we need to be ready for a turnaround and know how quickly things can change in the crypto market. Obviously, you know, even though I say I'm scaling in, it's still important to be able to understand where do I set my stop loss, what's the position sizing, and that if the setup fails, that it doesn't really hurt, you know, because I'm limiting the losses to a certain percentage of my overall portfolio, which is part of risk management. Yeah, so very, very clearly here, I intend to take the swing trade. Okay, so yeah, and until then, you know, we are currently watching if Bitcoin has completed the fourth wave or not. Possible, yeah, highlighted to you, I think, in the previous video, that if we really zoom in here and look at the sub-wave structure of this move to the downside here possibly after we completed the fourth wave. Oops, I did move that. It needs to sit here. That within this fifth wave of the third, we could have started already the wave one after we reached yesterday one of the key targets here, the 38.2 retracement, and got rejected. That this was already the wave one of the wave five. We were here earlier today, and I highlighted to you it would be, well, at least likely to get one more higher high here to finish off this wave two, maybe as an ABC, possibly complete. And now we're watching if we follow through with the wave three to the downside, and it would be ideal to break now below this 22.2K area. And if we do that, if we break below 22.2, then I think we're heading down into the 21.5K area or lower. On the other hand, if we break above 22.8K, I would strongly favor that a low has been made. Yes, some kind of a more substantial low has formed. But until then, the focus is on the downside. Downside pressure remains clearly there because we are hovering below wave 4 resistance. Okay, that's my update about Bitcoin. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.